On Tuesday, everybody was so generous that at a rate of $1 per squat, I ended up doing 600 reps. Not all squats, because I had to switch it up at some point, but everyone was very generous on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, I was like, alright guys, I can't do reps today, I killed myself yesterday, I have to take a break. And people were still relatively generous, but then last night, Thursday, I was like, I think I can do some reps again today, and holy cow, we did 700 total reps on stream. So I just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for being crazy generous lately. I will not be doing reps today, except Jackie J requested, after donating a peppermint to me, he's like, all you gotta do is 5 reps on stream total. 5 squats, specifically. So I was like, alright, Jackie J, I think I can do it. But he was like, but split them up over the course of the stream. Nick the Frenchie, Sirefly, Wayne, Simon D, Asim, Genevieve B, Robert R, Dagger, how are you? Welcome, everybody. My name's KarmaJolt. I am very tired today. Jackie J is home from school because he's feeling a little bit sick. But he is doing some alone time for like an hour, so I got a little bit of time to stream, and I'm taking it. Last we left off, we revived another orb. Look at that, we have 3 of the orbs illuminated. And we went underwater and fought the Kraken, the Fiend of the Water. The Fiend of Water. And he's like a big old octopus guy. I think he smacked Kobe that battle too, right? Yeah, like Kobe was missing some experience. Well, we're level 22. We're doing fine. Death Bob, what's going on? I also want to give a big old shout out to Megaharv, who last night, my Canadian YouTube friend Megaharv, with whom I often collaborate, he was like an hour into his stream last night when I showed up, and I'm like, hey man, I'm going to bed. But he was doing a thing where basically if he got any donations, he would extend the duration of his stream time. So I gave him like 10 bucks and went to bed. When I woke up this morning, he was still live. Because he got like approximately $1,200 in donations, and it was pretty crazy. Andy R. Yeah, Genevieve B. Exactly. Tiamat Banesword kill incoming. I'll try, Simon D. Vis Shadow, what's going on? So what are we drinking today? I got me a medium tall glass of 2 hydrogens per oxygen. Yeah, Megaharv's a beast. That man's been streaming like 11 hours at a time. I don't think I could ever do that. Hey, let's go do some stuff in this game. So, oh yeah, we got the slab, everybody. I got a big old slab. Why am I using the heal staff in battle here? It's because I'm not thinking properly, Seers. And this slab, we can bring it to a doctor, and he'll teach us a new language. That's how this works. I don't always drink oxygen, says Death Bob, but when I do, it's 2 parts hydrogen. Love that. Let's get into our flying airship. Our flying boat, I should say. Actually, before we do anything, let's get some more potions. How many pure potions have I used this playthrough? I feel like I'm getting poisoned a little bit more than normal. All right, everybody. I got 5 squats to go according to Jackie J. So let's do one right now. Let's do 1.5. I don't think I could do the whole 5. Ready? 1.5. Flying boat? You mean float? Oh my gosh, Genevieve B. Yeah, like it's a parade. All right, shout outs to Jackie J who donated a whole peppermint. But yeah, later today, I'm going to be doing a ton of yoga and stretching. A Tecmo shirt that is not the Raiders? Yeah, Death Bob. I've always been a New Orleans Saints fan. So my guy Nat20, who is letting me borrow his AVS so that I can play Final Fantasy on the console, he also got me this shirt as a gift a long time ago. Okay, so let's go to Melmond. Because that's what you do with the slab. You want to bring it to that guy, Dr. Oon. Wait a second. Where am I going, actually? And where have I been? Where am I headed, Cotton Eye Joe? You know the song. Alright, so I'm going way south and way west. There's the Peninsula of Power. Someone got really mad at me the other day because I, in a short, said that these two tiles are the Peninsula of Power. And he's like, it's also the two tiles below that. Get it right. So, maybe I should get it right. Maybe I should get it right, everybody. Didn't think it was that big of a deal, you know? Like, it's not that I was giving anyone inaccurate information. It was just incomplete. Let's use... Actually, wait. Let's use items here. Like the light axe. And the light axe. And the mage staff. And a fire too. Yo, what is this? This shadow with the cool Australian $80. Holy cow. Everyone put a shadow in the chat. If you ever want to hit the hard stuff, there's an amazing caramel vodka made by an Australian mob called Underground Spirits that I highly recommend. When you say mob, do you mean like an organized crime? Yo, Vis Shadow, thank you so much. Holy cow, if I were doing reps today, I'd have 52 to go. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do, everybody. After these 5 squats that I'm doing for Jackie J, for every $1 I get, I'm gonna do 2 seconds of stretching. How about that? Because you know I need it. Yeah, Vis Shadow, it just means a group. Yeah, no, I figured that's what you meant. But yo, thank you so much. Put those shadows or something spooky in the chat for Vis Shadow. Christopher H. Harsh. What, the comment that I was talking about? Straw Hat Brian, what are you talking about? 4 zombies are hot. Yeah, Simon D, when you're leveling up at the Peninsula of Power, that's like the one that you want to encounter, especially if you get a first strike. Oh, the shame. How dare you? Yeah, Grimburn. I gave incomplete information. How do you make a shadow? I don't know. I figured there would be a shadow emoji. Put a V or the whole emoji. That's kind of like a shadow. Yeah, Dagger, that's close enough. And look at this. Dagger with the cool $5 saying, and so it begins. Hey, put those daggers and the V's in the chat, everybody. Thank you so much. Sorry, I must survive till my paycheck. Nick the Frenchie, you can donate that like button. Hey, click that like, everybody. Nick the Frenchie, yeah, like, you were like, I'm low on money, and then you gave me money yesterday anyway, so thank you. Why V? For Vis Shadow? It begins with V. I liked, said Genevieve B. I like when you like. Genevieve B is gonna be here later today, and that's exciting to me personally. Where did I park my boat? It's like down by where you get the airship, right? But it doesn't show up on the map, so you might lose it. Okay, so that's... Wait, where am I, actually? Oh, this is the Dwarf Cave, and then here's the canal. Yep, exactly. Here's Melmond. That's where we want to go by Xsimp. I've got 3.5 squats left to go. Let's do 2 of them. For Jackie J, who donated a peppermint candy. 1, 2, and then after I'm done with those 5, which he said I should break up over the course of the stream, we'll start to do some stretching. Never remember where I parked my boat. Was it the Itchy Lake or the Scratchy Lake? Sears? I'm not sure I get that reference, but I'm glad you're here. Okay, so Here, in the northeast corner of Melmond, is where you're supposed to return the slab, which we found underwater with our mermaid friends. Unknown symbols cover the slab. Ooh, like runes. Maybe I can make a rune word out of them. But if you bring it to this guy, Dr. Oon, he is psyched to have a slab. A slab! This slab will lead us to solve the riddle of Lefinish. Now listen to me, and this is, I guess, he just teaches it to you instantly. Warriors, revive the power of the orbs, and now we can speak Lefinish. Maybe I should have taught you... Maybe I should have showed you that if you go to the town of Lefine before learning how to speak the language, you cannot speak to the NPCs there, to the villagers there. But I guess I forgot to freaking do that, y'all. That's okay. Let's go find them. So, they are north of the Peninsula of Power, in this town here, and you cannot park on this little section of flat land because you'll be blocking the entrance. Actually, can you park here? No. You pretty much have to park all the way up here in this spot. Excuse me. Doc Sigma. I made it to one almost on time. That's LaFine with me. Oh my gosh, Genevieve B. You LaFine, girl. So yeah, you gotta park pretty far away, but that's okay, because it's free. And we run into frost wolves just like we could at the Peninsula of Power. Isn't that a crazy coincidence? Let's use the Zeus Gauntlet and the... Ooh, I have the Mage Staff, which casts fire too in battle. Wolfette plays. You ready to go underwater? The Sunken Palace is nice. Yeah, so we just did that earlier, as a matter of fact. And we were able to grab the slab. I thought it was for real wolves. Yeah, that's what the FR is. FR wolves. Frost wolves, Stitch Pilot. I ran a 10-minute mile Wednesday. That's all the stuff I've done this week. Stitch Pilot? I did approximately that on stream last night. Hey, good for you. What was your previous mile time? Let's use the wizard staff and confuse these giants. Sweet, says Wolfette Plays. Hey, we love wolves on this channel, by the way. I'm about to nap, says Nick the Frenchie. That's what I was hoping to do today. But instead, I gotta be awake. At least I get a chance to work now. Because again, Jackie J is home from school today. I picked him up earlier because he was feeling sick. He sounds a little congested. But he's upstairs working on Legos and Minecraft. And he's like, I'll be okay for like an hour or so. I used to average 11, but now I can comfortably do 10. Stitch Pilot, I haven't run a timed mile in forever. Maybe I should do that. And maybe I should do one squat. Karma, tempted to do another dono and try to convince you to play the FF Pixel Remaster series. After all, your NES and SNES minigames. This shadow? I'm sure you can convince me. One. Whew. This is grueling exercise. Considering we did over 700 reps yesterday, I'm surprised I can walk. Thank you so much for the generosity, everybody. And shoutouts to Jackie J, who donated an entire peppermint, which I will not eat on stream. Pixel Remaster is better than the original, says Wolfette Plays, but still kind of lacking compared to Dawn of Souls. Oh man, I have a copy of Dawn of Souls somewhere. I cannot find it. I've got like 4 Game Boy Advance games total, and that's one of them, but I couldn't find it when I was looking yesterday. 700, dang, viewership is spiked. Stitch Pilot, but that's the thing. I didn't even get a ton of views or viewers yesterday. I just had, like, you know, a lot of my regulars show up and be super generous. Let me show you Ice 2 on these guys, because it's green. I know we used it earlier. But man, green ice? That means it's extra cold, right? GBA is the GOAT, says Death Bob. Yeah, well, that's why I was looking for that copy. Maybe this means you need to up the dumbbell weight. Genevieve B, like... I don't know, because I still feel like I'm getting stronger, you know? And it felt like a hell of a workout, so... I'm not sure. OG Murrican, what's going on? I saw you on Harv's stream, donating to keep him up longer. Yeah, I was just talking about how Mega Harv... I went to bed last night after donating on his stream, being like, good luck, Harv, and then I woke up and he was still streaming, and he had made like $1,200, so good for Mega Harv. Because he had an incentive that was like, if you donate, I'll stream for longer, essentially. So he did like a 13-hour stream or something. Hey, so, now that we've learned the language of Lefinish, we can talk to these people. I think if you try to speak with them earlier, they say some unintelligible syllables, as Sears gives a cool $2.69, saying, it's like lots of small donations add up. That's true, Sears. Epic Stream, didn't want him to stay up longer, just wanted to help the brother out. Yeah, no, exactly. I was like, hey, Harv, we love you, but like, don't break yourself here, you know? Hey, everyone put a Z in the chat for Sears. I'm gonna do this last half a squat, and then let's add to the reps counter for stretches, because that's what I need to do. Half. That was my point. Let me try again. Half. There we go. That was 5 squats for Jackie J. Just like how he'd like it. Nicholas MW, I see you. If you can do more than 100 reps, then you're not really challenging / building more muscle. You're just maintaining what you have already. Yeah, but here's the thing, Genevieve. How do I balance that with growing donations? You know what I mean? Like, I could up the weight, but then, like, because people are donating more lately, I'd also be upping the reps, and I don't want to do both of those at the same time. That I would die, I think. Somebody put it in the chat here. Yeah, they say lupa, says L6. Yeah, that's what they say if you don't, if you have not brought the slab to Dr. Un in Melmond to learn the language of Lefinish. We are the Lefinish. Only our bravest become sky warriors, eh? Your airship was at theirs. I'm guessing they have a bit of an Italian accent. I don't know. First GF game I ever played. FF. Wolfette. Correct. Yeah, this game rules. Booker plays. I did return the slab. Side order. Welcome. Make stronger terms. Yeah, I might have to up the exchange rate at some point. Especially if I up the weight, you know? See your face upon the clean water. How dirty. Come, wash your face. Oh, the Light Warriors. The legend is true. By the way, it still says this in regular English if you don't learn Lefinish. At the time of destruction, a legend was born. In 400 years, warriors with orbs will appear to save our people. Are you? I am. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do, everybody. Let's see. YouTube is telling me I have earned approximately $60.50 in revenue so far. So let's double it. And that's how many seconds we're gonna stretch. I gotta stretch my arms and my legs and my neck, but I'll do that off stream. The floating castle. Our ancestors lived there. The Mirage Tower is the entrance. Yeah, and what you want to do here, I love that they got just like little bridges in this town. This is a cool place to hang out. I bet you can fish here. Our last 5 warriors left to find the cause of the world's decay. We know they live as bats. Weird that they capitalized the K in no. We fought with Tiamat, but were unsuccessful. The fiend now inhabits our floating castle. The power of wind was taken by Tiamat. With this chime, you can enter the Mirage Tower. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It's my birthday, says Justin McD. Yo, everyone put a McD in the chat. And a cake for Justin McD. Robbie L, I see you. Guys, Minami Lane stream tomorrow. How do we feel? Genevieve B? I'd be down for like a nice, calm, relaxing game. For those who don't know, Minami Lane is like a... it's a game where you manage like shops and population on a small street. Jason F says, Happy B-Day, McD-A. Daniel, I see you too. The floating castle, our ancestors live there. The Mirage Tower is the entrance. Hey, by the way, if you walk this way, you can find hidden magic shops, which have hearts on them, which that kind of implies that it's also a clinic. But I remember Sean R. showing me this secret back when I was in like 5th or 6th grade. And here, whoops, here you can learn the most powerful white magic, Lift 2. Which gives a lift to any of your fallen comrades and fully heals them. You can also learn the spell Nuke, which I think in later games was changed to something like Flare. I think that's what it's supposed to be. But yeah, definitely like learn these while we're here. I think the Red Mage does not get any level 8 spell charges, but can learn Ice 3. And Enigma and Freg. Can I exit here? Yes. Flare or Ultima? Yeah, more likely Flare, I would say, though, right, Nicholas MW? Nukes in Final Fantasy? Yeah, Daniel, like, honestly, whenever I think about that, I feel like it's a little strange that the Japanese would call a spell nuke, because, like, I feel like, I don't know, isn't it like a cultural faux pas to talk about that? Anyway, let's Ice 3 this Tyro, Miles J. I'd rather see Pip cast Karma. Yeah, what would the Karma spell do? Put sunglasses on everyone? Fir trees can grow inside human lungs, says 5D100. Is that true? How about instead of 1 rep reducing 2 go by 1, you multiply it by the weight used divided by 25. So if you lift 50 pounds, then each rep counts double. L6, here's the thing. I'm for sure not at the point where I can lift 50 pounds. Well, I guess I'm squatting with 40 pounds. But I wouldn't be able to, like, curl something like that, you know? Asim leveled up. Agi int vit. What's your favorite team in this game? Minus 2 fighters, 2 red mages. Russell H. The old red team. Yeah, that sounds good. I do like having a thief. Just because he's, like, useless and fun. I also gotta say, though, I kinda like the black belt, just because he hits so freaking hard. Fire 3 on him. Double damage, but you take damage too. Karma spell. Yeah, like a double-edged sword, or as most people simply call it, a sword. Useless and fun is the title of my job resume. Yo, Booker plays games, you can just say resume. But that's funny. If you cast Karma, you get Greatness, and Greatness blocks all damage and increases all parties' attack. Best spell next to Power of Friendship. Side order? Yes, that and some fried rice. I see green, what's going on? 3 mages and 1 physical guy is the go-to for me, mostly. Icy green, I was just talking about how there's an icy green spell. If you use Ice 3, it's green. And icy. Use a light axe here, mage staff, and I'll show you the Ice 3. Oh, I don't have any charges of it. Never mind. Let's do Quake. Yeah, so I love probably red mage, ninja, and then either white mage, black mage, or black mage, black belt. Those are always fun. Green ice, Daniel. Hey, thanks for being here, everybody. I am very tired today, and I don't know if you can tell. But I might need some extra coffee today. Soft low main? Yeah. Simon D, I could go for some of that. Pep leveled up. Yeah, my white mage has 326 max HP. Strength, Agi, Int, Luck. Almost a perfect level up there. Why? Is it like you did 700 reps yesterday or something? Enigma, it's so like that? Thank you for noticing. Let's, I don't know what to do against these guys. Let's just fast the dude. Coffee fund? Yo, side order with the cool $2 Canadian. Hey, thank you so much. Everyone put the French fries or rice or some sort of side order in the chat. Let's mess around against these red ankylos, even though this is a terrible idea, and this enemy can hit like an absolute truck. Look at that, 138 damage. That was a critical hit. Ooh, fell into crack. I got one of them. I got two of them. Of course, that's going to render my warrior's attack useless here. But let's end the two here. Do you see how hard these guys are hitting me for? Kind of insane. Heal staff. That's kind of BS, yeah. Haimin Win, welcome. I hope I got your name right. Chad P, I see you. Everyone put a side order in the chat. Did we do that already? Yeah, I see you with the rice balls and stuff. Gonna add... We're doing double reps today, and by reps, I mean I'm going to stretch that many seconds. After yesterday? Let's use the mage here and the lit 3. 116, good. 135 there. 56 damage for the kill. Our Ankylos suck. They hit like a freight train. Yeah, Simon D. But at this point, I'm apparently powerful enough to tank a freight train straight on. I basically suplexed it. Let's go get us some magic, everybody. I think the town of Gaia is nearby, right? Gaia? Where's Ladia? Oh no, it's actually somewhere else. For every donation, end the stream earlier. That's kind of funny. Oh wait, is this it to the northeast? Magic? What? You think I'm handsome? Yeah, Sean R. Last night there was a character named Father Manson when we were playing Breath of Fire 2. Which is the character that goes, what? You think I'm handsome? On Toriko. Okay, so I could get Brack. I think this is technically a poison-related spell. But what I want to do... First of all, let's get Ice 3 for my guy, Kobe. And then, wow, I'm like out of money. I can sell this great axe. Tell your friends I'm great, axe. And the flame sword and the ice sword at this point. And the silver axe. I don't need that. It's a cool item in theory, but like, I know I keep mentioning this. Every time you get like a really good axe in this game, it's, for the most part, it's after you found a sword that's slightly better. So like, you just don't end up using the axes. Alright, I'm gonna sell this. You know what? I'll keep the great axe. Let's sell the flame sword. And the other ice sword. And the silver axe. That wizard staff is 50,000. That might be worth selling in a speedrun. Like, the wizard staff casts Confuse in battle, which is kind of cool, but, like, not necessary, you know? The axes of evil. Yo, Enigma, so I don't know if you remember our friend, Sax Dog from middle school, not high school. Yeah, just middle school. But he and I still keep in touch. One of my best friends from Connecticut. Oh, Connecticut, I should say. Oh, course, says Enigma. Yeah, so my family lovingly refers to him as Sax Dog. Because, like, how do I say this? He's absolutely not the kind of person who would say who would call somebody dog, you know. But so we like jokingly refer to him as that. But when I was playing Diablo 2, I made a barbarian character that dual wields axes, and I called him Axe Dog. Yo, this Shadow with another $7.99 Australian. Good night, Karma. This is my last convincement fund for Pixel Remaster. Yo, this Shadow, I'll probably end up playing it, maybe after a couple months. But I'll get there. For sure. Hey, thank you so much for the cool $8 Australian. Everyone put more V's in the chat. Okay, so YouTube tells me we're at like 67.50. So double that would be 120, 134. 135. That's how many seconds we got to stretch. Okay, so I've got Cure 4. Can my Red Mage learn Cure 4? Because that'd be sick. Sorry, you cannot learn that. Well, let's get Harm 4. Actually, let's see what our other options are. Quiguns, Rithella. Never made it far into FF1. Had no idea that the characters basically evolve. They got so many details. Yeah, this game is actually pretty darn good for an RPG from 1987. Okay, so there is a magic shop to the east over there, but what's up here? There's another magic shop, is there not? Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, that just goes to the pond. Well, the party has started. Time to go. GG and good luck. Hey, chat, don't forget to become a member. KJ does some great content for Just Us members. Also emojis. Hey, Side Order, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Glyph Fracker of the Side Order channel. Y'all know why FF is called FF, right? Yeah, because Final and Fantasy both begin with Fs. Chad P. Yeah, no, we've talked about the story a couple times. Oh, Fade hits like a truck. Okay, yeah, so you can get level 8 magic here. Just not the best ones. Stop, Zap, and XXX. I don't know if any of these are worth getting. I might get Stop, just to try it out. As Grimburn gives a cool $5 saying, I thought I had a good joke to say, but it was too much of a stretch. Oh my gosh. Yo, everyone put a flame in the chat for Grimburn. Thank you so much. I'm adding 10 to the to-go counter, and this is how many seconds I'm gonna stretch at the end of the stream, everybody. Yeah, AQ, thank you. Yeah, it was almost called Fighting Fantasy. Only a fairy can withdraw Oxyale from the spring, and only Link can defeat Ganon. Okay, let's get out of here. I'm just gonna go back to Onrak, I think, to look at magic. No, let's go into the Mirage Tower. Just real quick, to get some treasures. Yeah, this is the Mirage Tower. I think you have to park over here, right? NFC, what's going on? Yeah, I see green. Yeah, like basically back in 1987, like what RPGs were on console, you know? Dragon Warrior and maybe some like first-person perspective dungeon crawlers, right? Yow, sand. Dang. Yow are Ankylos. That's worth casting. Let's quake 'em. Phantasy Star, yes. Sean R. When did that come out? Oh, good. Okay, I killed the bottom one. That's great, because I think my knight is going to take care of this dude. And by take care, I mean the opposite of that. He will harm him verily. 1989, I want to say, says Simon D. I love that Asim is basically curled up in a blanket fort when he's in critical condition. Also 1987. Okay, I didn't realize it was that old. Final Fantasy Star. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna get a bunch of heal potions once I do the dungeon for real. But let's go into this crazy tower. The chime allows me in. Ooh, big old room in the middle of the tower with a bunch of treasures. And I think some of these are, like, really good. Or at least one of them. Ooh, chance to strike first. There's a nightmare and a badman. Love that for us. Do I have hold? I have stun. Let me show you how stun works. I think stun will automatically paralyze an enemy that if they have 300 or less HP, and I'm pretty sure Badman does have 300 total HP. Possibly less. Now less, now that I hit him. But stun is a spell that, like, can be useful. Like, is it gonna be as useful as, I don't know, Ice 3 or something like that? Probably not. But hey, look, now I don't have to worry about that dude. Yeah, it's Batman, Genevieve B, you're right. Snorting? Don't let that guy fall into crack. Simon D, I thought the Thor's hammer was in this room. Am I wrong? But Simon D is telling me I can at least find a heal helmet, which is cool. Vorpal's sword is a reference in the Alice in Wonderland universe. L6? I believe it's a literary reference from a poem called The Jabberwocky. Which is essentially a poem made up of nonsense syllables that somehow make sense to hear. Like, you follow the story that is made up of not real words, and you can still understand what's going on. That's the stuff upstairs. Simon D, okay. So I was one floor off. But hey, this heal helmet is an awesome piece of equipment. I'm actually gonna give it to... I'm actually gonna equip it. I think it might be a downgrade defensively for my knight. 62 absorb, 59 evade. But let's see what the heal helmet does in terms of stats. So 2 less absorb, but if I use the heal helmet in battle, it casts the heal spell on all my allies, and that, you know, even though it's a small amount of healing, that can still be very useful, especially when I'm going to run from a battle that I have ambushed an enemy. So usually when you sneak up on enemies, and it says chance to strike first, you always can run from that battle with 100% success. So usually what I'll do is I'll have somebody use the heal helmet, somebody use the heal staff, and then my other party members run. So there's a chance that I get free healing before I exit that battle without getting touched. That said, now I gotta drop like an opal helmet here. Treasure box is empty, why? A lot of money here, Lord Toasts. I found the Vorpal. Yeah, let's show what that looks like. So, this is one of those items that is supposed to have, like, the best critical hit rate in the game. Damage 35, 76 hit percentage, as opposed to the defense sword, which gives 41 and 86. Yeah, that's way better. But the Vorpal sword has a listed critical hit chance of 30%, which is insane, considering that all other items in the game, aside from the katana, which also has 30% listed critical hit rate, pretty much any other item in the game has like 10, 5, 3, or 1% chance to critical hit. So yeah, the Vorpal has 30, which is awesome. The problem, though, as we've talked about before, is that listed critical hit rates do nothing. And the actual critical hit rate of a weapon is tied to that weapon's index number. It's a function of the index number. And the index number is basically like where the item is listed on the index of weapons in the game. So, in other words, for example, the last few weapons on the index are, you know, the Masamune, the Excalibur, and the Katana. So those weapons, since there are 40 different weapon types in the game, have critical hits of 40, 39, and 38. So long story short, the weapons that were supposed to have really high critical hit rates, they do. In fact, they have kind of higher critical hit rates than they're supposed to. But so does everything else. So those weapons aren't special when compared to other weapons, is basically what I'm trying to say. They crit about as well as everything else. Ooh, the Aegis Shield. That's a good one. 60 and 59. 64 and 59, look at that. The Aegis Shield protects against poison, which is cool. I dropped the Flame Shield in favor of it, and the Flame Shield protects against ice, which is better than protecting against poison. But in a moment, I'm going to find an armor for my knight that protects against fire, ice, and lightning. So that, in conjunction with the Aegis Shield, is pretty much all he needs. I love unorthodox and hidden game variables. Icy Green? Same. I confused the Badman. Oh, Kobe needs to be healed, huh? Let's do that. Yeah, there's the Vorpal Sword. Was it an axe? Was it a cat I saw? Let's see it again. Oh, the bad man fought the horsey. Getting some free healing in here. And then Hell 2, which casts Hell 3 in battle. Always pretty darn good. Yeah, okay, so the Vorpal Sword looks like that and is cool. Does much more than that. Aegis Shield also protects against most statuses. Simon D? Okay, I'll have to look that up. You know what? Let's do this. Heal Helm. I'll use my free healing. Hey, look at that. I love that he's just like, touchdown in battle. Also, Bork has white magic. I should just use that more often. It's HP, you know? When do you get the Excalibur sword? So Wayne, if I go into the rest of this dungeon, which I will probably do at some other point, like basically this Mirage Tower leads into a sky dungeon, and in there you find an item called the Adamant, which you bring to the dwarf smith named Smith, and he'll make the Excalibur for you. Only knights can equip it, Selvala. Yo, there's a robot. Beep boop bop. Are you the master? I am Bork the knight. Nice to meet you, Selvala. Haven't made that one yet. Bye, NFC, says NFC. Hey, thanks for showing up. Ooh, there's a guard. Oh, I meant to switch Kobe's equipment. I have to imagine lightning does well against robots. Probably fire, too. As well, also. Bah! Maybe the master is the robot who escaped to the waterfall. L6? Yeah. That could be, but I thought he mistook us for the master, which is why he gave us the cube, right? Like there's a robot in the waterfall that gave us the cube, which you need to enter the Sky Tower, which is above the Mirage Tower. And he gives us the cube because he thinks we're the master, and, which implies that he thinks we're one of the Sky Warriors, Jason Mel? Is that correct? Not that I'm asking you, personally. I am acknowledging you, and then asking everyone. I get conflicting lessons from video games. Various FF titles have me believe it kills robots, but Chrono Trigger says it kills dinosaurs, so... Yeah, but aren't the robots weak to lightning in that game, too? Maybe I'm wrong. Mage, staff, heal, staff. Yes, Skymaster, numbers and figures. Yeah, that figures. They are, says Jason F. It's been so long since I played Chrono Trigger. It's been like 5 years. Maybe more. Yeah, I think that waterfall robot sees your team as the saviors. Yeah, Simon D. Also, I realize sometimes I add words when I'm reading people's chats out loud, and I apologize, but I'm getting it mostly right. The idea is there. Let's use an Ice 2 here. The takeaway is that electricity is non-discriminatory, says Scott A. With a question mark at the end. Yeah, I mean, what kind of monsters are resistant to lightning in these games? Like rock golems and stuff? Bless her. How are you? That is not a three-headed dog. It is Icy Green. The Cerberus? Yeah, it had 3 heads. It also had 3 bodies and 12 paws. It was a 3-headed, 3-bodied, 3-tailed, 12-pawed dog. I think you want to go in this way, right? Vampire! Yo, this guy used to be a boss, and now he's a regular enemy. Gonna light him up, though, with fire and harm. Because the light axe casts harm 2 in battle, which, like, crushes undead enemies. At least it's supposed to. 69 damage, that's hilarious. 140 to the next guy, though. Pretty big variance there. That sounds rough to deal with. Simon D? You bet. Vampire. Better get the steak and garlic, Asim. Yeah, Asim, I think that's why in Castlevania when you find the wall meat, people are like, yeah, that's definitely chicken. Because vampires don't like steaks. Ooh, money. Ooh, more money. Ooh, a battle. Ooh, mummy. Let's use the light axe, and the light axe, and the mage, and the heal staff. We snuck up on these guys who were guarding the treasure chests. That's like their job. Dumb, says Sean R. Yeah, you like that one? To be fair, like, these people have probably been waiting for, like, 400 years or something, you know? And then finally someone shows up, and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa! If you had showed up, you know, in the previous 300 years, we would have been ready. But after 400 years, we were like, alright, let's take a nap. And I snuck up on him. Whoops, I did it again. Oh, wait, okay, so that wasn't a scripted encounter. Ooh, and I got the Thor hammer and some money. Yeah, so, look at this. The Thor's hammer. Actually a super awesome item. And it happens to be the best-in-slot weapon for a white wizard. Let's look at his stats. 23 damage and 32 hit percentage. Ooh, he can hit twice in combat. What about this? 29 and 42, but more importantly, the Thor hammer casts Lit 2 in battle. So I'm going to give this mage staff to Asim now. Now that Pippin has another item that can cast a nuke spell in battle. Not nuke as in nuke, but a magic that hits all enemies. So now Asim has the Mage Staff, which does Fire 2 for free. Is the Mage Staff actually physically better than the knife that he's got equipped? Not really. But let's wear it for a while. Anurin's Retro Shack, welcome. How are you? How am I today? Oh man, yesterday was amazing, but I am feeling it after doing all those reps. Yo, we got the Sun Sword, huh? That might be better than what Bork currently has. 50 and 101. 53 and 106, look at that. That's an upgrade. I could give that to my red mage as well. There's the dragon armor. Yeah, so this armor is super good. 64 absorb, 59 evade currently, but if I trade out the ice armor for the dragon armor, those stats go up, right? 72 and 59. And the ice armor does protect against fire, and that's great. Tell your friends. But the dragon armor protects against fire, ice, and lightning, and then I've got the Aegis shield equipped on him, which protects against poison as well. Instead, Pip is the daughter of Wit. That's right, Sean R. Let's get out of here. We'll come back here later. The Art of War with Sun Sword. L6? That's a good joke. I think if I weren't feeling so awful right now, I would laugh at that. But man, do I feel bad today, everybody. Thanks for being here. Oh, that's bad. That guy killed me with crack. He killed Kobe, I should say. Ah, too soon. Let's hit this guy with Ice 3. Shoutouts to feeling like trash today. Yeah, Selvala. Everyone put the garbage emoji in the chat. There's like a trash bin, right? Rip King. That is not what I meant to do, but I didn't realize you could exit anywhere and it would just bring you to exactly where you already are. Let's life Kobe and then cure for him. Boom! 346 HP out of that one spell. That's pretty good for a single target heal. Whoops. Yes, thank you for the trash bins and the throw away your stuff emoji and the raccoons, bless her. Excuse me. Let's lit 2 here. I'm gonna inv 2 as well. And ice 3. Where are you in the game, KJ? Yo, James M. We just got into the Mirage Tower to get some treasures, and then now I'm leaving. But I've got 3 of the 4 orbs lit. I've lit 3 of the 4 orbs. And let's see. We basically have this dungeon left. This is technically 2 dungeons. Oh, that's what the mage staff looks like, by the way. It's got a little jewel at the end. We've got this dungeon, which leads to the Sky Tower, and then the Fungeon, pretty much. There's some stuff that I want to do, though, for sure. Like, I do want to find Warmech. Do you play any Genesis / Mega Drive games? I would consider it. I played some Sega Genesis games. What Sega games have I played on my channel? Shining Force 1 and 2. Some Sonic games. Streets of Rage, for sure. And I would get into, Phantasy Star. Yeah, let's learn Harm 3 here. Harm 4, I should say. Never played him, but I would play Phantasy Star. Get a Cat Claw, says L6. It is technically the best weapon for the Black Mage, and it's actually a pretty good little dagger with high hit rate and high damage. Nothing quite as powerful as, like, you know, the Sun Sword or the Ice Sword, for example. Pumpkin, how are you? Where do I want to go? Oh, let's go to Onrak and look at the magic in the shops. I forgot what they had. Is that it, to the right? Yeah. Large chicken monster, how are you? Oh, wow, I'm catching you live. Cheers. Hey, everyone put a chicken in the chat. We paddling up the crick. That's how people pronounce that. Well, it's not great being financially insecure. Unrelated to YouTube, though. Pumpkin? Oh, I get it. You doing all right? Yes, or an egg. Booker plays, I see you. Gator? Hardly knew her. Yeah, the Thor hammer casts Lit 2 in battle. So it's technically better than the Zeus Gauntlet. I don't know. Actually, Zeus Gauntlet... You probably do end up equipping that as a final equipment. Along with the Thor hammer, which you would if you had a white mage. But I'd say the Zeus Gauntlet's slightly better because, like, multiple classes can equip that. Alright, so what white magic is here? Hell 3 and A-Rub. That's for level 7, right? I might get heal 3. Saber and Blind. Let me save the game real quick before I buy Saber. What's the other level 7 magic? So there's Saber, Blind, Ice 3, and then what? Let's look up the Explorer's Handbook, everybody. Oh, it's Brack, yeah. Breaks the enemy into little pieces. I think technically that's a poison element spell. Pro Ring is greater than Zeus Gauntlet. Pro Ring stops most instant death stuff. Simon D, but doesn't the ribbon do that as well? And, like, you're going to have a ribbon? OMG, I thought it was blonde all this time. I'm dumb. Wait, Jason Mill, what are we talking about? Not blind, but blonde. Yeah. It makes some baked goods for you. You have legs! Get out of here! I don't want to talk to any legged creatures. Alright, so Kobe's got the Power Gauntlet. I'm gonna buy you the Saber spell real quick. By you, I mean Asim. I'm talking to you specifically, Asim. Oh man, the Saber spell is supposed to be so good. I just spent 45,000 gold on it. For a spell that doesn't work, and I'm gonna show you. The best status ailment, being blonde. Pumpkin? Alright, let me get to the page here. Shorts time is right, Grimburn. I gotta get into a battle to show you what this does or doesn't do. But the Saber spell is supposed to be really good, and the Power Gauntlet is supposed to be an item that casts the Saber spell. And it does do that in battle. But the Saber spell, let me just read you what the Final Fantasy Explorer's Handbook says about it. Makes your weapon sharper magically. Success rate increases by 40% and damages increase by 15%. That sounds awesome. And, you know, I guess you can only cast it on yourself, huh? So maybe it's not as awesome as I thought it was supposed to be. But 15% more damage is pretty good. 40% more attack rating is supposed to mean you'll hit once more in combat. But just like a lot of the other spells in this game, that spell is bugged and it does nothing. So the Saber spell, like, man, that was supposed to be really good for a red wizard if you cast fast on them to make them hit more in combat. Like 40% more hit rate would give you an extra attack, but the Saber spell, unfortunately, is bugged and it does nothing. Saber is self-target only. Yeah, Simon D, I guess I didn't realize that. But let me show you one more time. Let's use heal here. And the Power Gauntlet, again, which is supposed to cast Saber in combat, ends up doing nothing. Let me rephrase that. It does cast Saber in combat, and when it does, it says, weapon became what? Stronger? It just says weapon became stronger there. But because the Saber spell does nothing, your weapon becoming stronger actually does nothing. That spell does work in other iterations of Final Fantasy. For example, the Dawn of Souls version. But in this version, it does nothing. Because the spell is bugged. When it works, it's fantastic with the fast/haste spell. Yes, and with the temper spell, which, in other versions of the game, temper spell also is not bugged. But in this version, it is. Temper, as we saw earlier, is supposed to increase your weapon damage. But in this game, just like the Saber spell, it is broken and does nothing. So let's see Kobe hitting for exactly as much as he usually does. Yeah, still did 2 hits, but he crit and killed that Manticore. So yeah, long story short, don't buy this magic spell. And with that said, I'm going to reset to a time before I had bought the Saber spell, and I will save myself for 45,000 gold there. Saber? Yeah, everyone put a sword in the chat. Let's fight some trolls. Yes, thank you, Death Bob, for the sabers. And Asim, I see you as well. Sword! Glacie the Glaceon. 4 trolls, yikes. Yeah, that's a good, that's a battle that you want to find when you're grinding around Crescent Lake, I would say. Whew. Alright, everybody. I am absolutely feeling it today. By feeling it, I mean those 700 reps we did yesterday, and I need to stretch and maybe get some rest. Trolls are just guys with headaches. Yeah, Sears, they're like this. And I totally get it, trolls. Alright, let's put 145 seconds on the clock and do some stretching, everybody. Thank you so much for the donations. Your donations went to, every dollar was 2 seconds of stretching. So, what's 145 seconds? That would be 2 minutes and 25 seconds. So let's start that timer. Alright. Let's do some quad stretches here. I don't know if you can see me here, but I'm stretching the left quad here. Let's do like 25 seconds each. Oh, baby, yeah, this feels good. Whew. James M, thanks for showing up. Well, yeah, later tonight, Genevieve B is going to be here. And we're going to stream something real casual. Alright, switch. Everyone tell your friends he's great. Yeah, thank you so much. Anurin's Retro Shack. Oh, my legs. He's just standing there. Jason Mill, I am doing a quad stretch, I'm telling you. You can trust me. Let's do this one. Oh, that one feels good too. Oh my gosh. F-Zero tonight, Manami Lane tomorrow. Genevieve B, that sounds great. Switch. Shonar, you behave. Oh my gosh. Alright, now do this one. The tricep stretch. Hey, thanks for the reps, everybody. Appreciate all the donations lately. Y'all been going crazy, and I'm very, very thankful. Okay. Taking it home with the other arm. Alright, y'all. 10 more seconds. Hey, that was like 2.5 minutes there. Thanks for the stretches, everybody. And thank you so much for watching me play a little bit of Final Fantasy on the Nintendo NES system. Until next time, this is KarmaJolt signing off. Tell your friends I'm great, and I'll see you soon.